Hare Krishna. Can you hear me?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Yes.
Hare
Yeah,
Krishna,
thank
Prabhuji.
you. Thank you. Sorry for the late. Hmm. Okay. Jai. I'm sharing the screen to confirm if you can see that.
Yes, Prabhuji, we can see.
Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 7, Chapter 7 entitled The Sacrifice Performed by Daksha. Maitrevacha ityajena bhavena paritushyata abhyadyati mahabaho prahasya shruyatam iti. Sri Maitreya said, O mighty armed Vidura, Lord Shiva being thus pacified by those these by the words of Lord Brahma, spoke as follows in answer to Lord Brahma's request. Mahadevacha Nagam Prajesha Balanam Varnaye Nanu Chintaye Devamaya Bhibhutanam Dandastatra Drudo Maya. Lord Shiva said, My dear father Brahma, I do not mind the offenses created by the demigods, because these demigods are childish and less intelligent. I do not take a serious view of their offenses, and I have punished them only in order to right them. प्रजापते दग्ध शीर्ष्णो भवत्वज मुखं शिरः मित्रस्य चक्षुषेक्षेत भागं स्वं बर्हिषो भगः. Lord Shiva continued, Since the head of Daksha has already been burned to ashes, he will have the head of a goat. The demigods known as Bhaga will be demigod known as Bhaga will be able to see his share of sacrifice through the eyes of Mitra. Ushatu यजमानस्य दद्भिर्जक्षतु पिष्टभुक् देवाः प्रकृतः सर्वाङ्गा Yema Ucheshana Daduhu. The demigod Pusha will be able to chew only through the teeth of his disciples, and if alone, he will have to satisfy himself by eating dough made from chickpeas flour. But the demigods who have agreed to give me my share of sacrifice, will recover from all their injuries. बाहुभ्याम् अश्विनो पूष्णो हस्ताभ्यां कृतबाहवः भवन्त्यध्वर्यवश्चान्ये बष्ट स्मर्ष्णुर्भृगुर्भवेत्. Those who have had their arms cut off with will have to work with the arms of Ashwini Kumara, and those whose head made a mistake. Yeah, hands were cut off will have to do their work with the hands of Pusha. The priest will also have to act in that manner. As for Bhrigu, he will have the beard from the goat's head. मैत्रेवाच तदा सर्वाणि भूतानि श्रुत्वा मीढुष्टमोदितं परितुष्टात्मभिस्तात साधु साध्व iti atha ब्रुवन्. The great sage Maitreya said, My dear Vidura, all the personalities present were very much satisfied in heart and soul upon hearing the words of Lord Shiva, who is the best among the benedictors. ततो मीढ्वांशम् आमन्त्र्य सुनाशीरा सहर्षिभिः भूयस्तद्देव यजनन् स मीढ्वद् Vedasho Yayuho. Thereafter, Bhrigu, the chief of the great sages, invited Lord Shiva to come to the sacrificial arena. Thus, the demigods, accompanied by the sages, Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma, all went to the place where the great sacrifice was being performed. विधायकास्येन च तद् यद्आह भगवान् भवः तन्ददुः कस्य कायेन सवनीय पशोशिरः. After everything was executed exactly as directed by Lord Shiva, Daksha's body was joined to the head of the animal meant to be killed in the sacrifice. सन्दीयमानेन शिरसि दक्षो रुद्राभिवीक्षितः सद्यः सुप्त इवोत्तस्थौ ददृशे चाग्रतो मृडम्. When the animal's head was fixed on the body of King Daksha, Daksha was immediately brought to consciousness, and as he awakened from sleep, the king saw Lord Shiva standing before him. तदा वृषध्वज द्वेष कलिलात्मा प्रजापतिः शिवालोकाद् अभवत् अभवत् शरद दृढ़ा दृढ़ा इवामलः. At that time, when Daksha saw Lord Shiva, who rides upon a bull, his heart, which was polluted by envy of Lord Shiva, was immediately cleansed, just as the water in a lake is cleansed by autumn rains. भवस्तवाय कृतः दीप् नाशक्नोत् अनुरागतः औत्कण्ठ्याद् भाष्पकलया Samparetam Sutam Smaran. King Daksha wanted to offer prayers to Lord Shiva, but as he remembered the ill fated death of his daughter Sati, his eyes filled with tears and in bereavement his voice choked up and he could not say anything. Prachrat संस्तभ्य च मनः प्रेमविह्वलितः सुधीः सशंस निर्वलीकेन भावेनेशं Prajapatihi. At the time, King Daksha, afflicted by love and affection, was very much awakened to his real senses. With great endeavor, he pacified his mind, checked his feelings, and with pure consciousness began to offer prayers to Lord Shiva. दक्ष उवाच भूयान् अनुग्रह अहो भवता कृतो मे दण्डस्त्वया मयि भृतो यत् अपि प्रलब्धः न ब्रह्मबन्धुषु च वां भागवन् अवज्ञा तुभ्यं हरेश्च कुत एव दृढव्रतेषु. King Daksha said, My dear Lord Shiva, I committed a great offense against you, but you are so kind that instead of withdrawing your mercy, you have done me a great favor by punishing me. You and Lord Vishnu never neglect even useless, unqualified Brahmanas. Why then should you neglect me, who am engaged in performing sacrifices? विद्यातपोव्रतधरान् मुखतः स्वविप्रान् ब्रह्मात्मतत्त्वम् अवितं प्रथमं त्वम् अश्राक् तद्ब्राह्मणान् परमसर्वविपत्सु पाशी पालः पशुम् इव विभो प्रगृहीतदण्डः. My dear great and powerful Lord Shiva, you were created first from the mouth of Lord Brahma in order to protect the Brahmanas in pursuing education, austerities, vows, and self realization. As protector of the Brahmanas, you always protect the regulative principles they follow, just as a cowherd boy keeps a stick in his hand to give protection to the cows. यशो मया विदितः तत्त्वदृशा सभायां क्षिप्तो दुरुक्तिविशिखैर्विशिखैर्विगन विगनय्यतन्माम् अर्वाक् पतन्तम् अर्हताम निन्दयापात् दृष्ट्वा दुष्टा दृष्ट्यार्धर sorry दृष्ट्याद्रया स भगवान् स्वकृतेन तुष्येत्. So I did not know your full glories. For this reason, I threw arrows of sharp words at you in the open assembly, although you did not take them into account. I was going down to hell because of my disobedience to you, who are the most respectable personality. But you took compassion upon me and saved me by avoiding punishment. I request that you be pleased by your own mercy, since I cannot satisfy you by my words. मैत्रेय उवाच क्षमाप्यैवं सदा स क्षमाप्यैवं समीढ्वांसं ब्रह्मणा चानुमन्त्रितः कर्म सन्तानयाम् आस सोपाध्यायद्विग् आदिभिः. The great sage Maitreya said, thus being pardoned by Lord Shiva, King Daksha, with the permission of Lord Brahma, again began the performance of the yajna, along with the great learned sages, the priests, and others. वैष्णवं यज्ञसन्तत्यै त्रिकपालं द्विजोत्तमाः पुरोदाशं निरवपन् वीरसंसर्गशुद्धये. Thereafter, in order to resume the activities of sacrifice, the Brahmanas first arranged to purify the sacrificial arena of the contamination caused by the touch of Veerabhadra and other ghostly followers of Lord Shiva. Then they arranged to offer into the fire the oblations known as Purodasha. Adhvaryuna, sorry. अध्वर्युन्नात्त हविषां यजमानो विशाम्पते धिया विशुद्धया ददौ तथा प्रादुरभूद्धरिः. The great sage Maitreya said to Vidura, my dear Vidura, as soon as King Daksha offered the clarified butter with Yajur Veda mantras in sanctified meditation, Lord Vishnu appeared there in his original form as Narayana. Tada swa प्रभया तेषां द्योतयन्त्या दिशो दशा मुष्णं तेज उपानीतस्तार्क्ष्णेय ताक्ष्णेन स्तोत्रवाजिना. Lord Narayana was seated on the shoulder of Stotra or Garuda, who had big wings. As soon as the Lord appeared, all directions were illuminated, diminishing the luster of Brahma and others present. श्यामो हिरण्यरसनोर्क किरीटजुष्टो नीलालकभ्रमर मण्डितकुण्डलास्यः शङ्काब्ज चक्रसरचाप गदासि चर्मो व्यग्रैर्हिरण्मय भुजैर इव कर्णिकारः. His complexion was blackish, his garment yellow like gold, and his helmet as dazzling as the sun. His hair was bluish, the color of black bees, and his face was decorated with earrings. His eyes, 8 hands, held a conch shell, wheel, club, lotus flower, arrow, bow, shield, and sword, and they were decorated with golden ornaments such as bangles and bracelets. His whole body resembled a blossoming tree, beautifully decorated with various kinds of flowers. वक्षस्यधिष्ठिता वधूर्वनः माल्य उदार हासावलोककलया रमयं च विश्वं पार्श्वभ्रमद्व्यजन चामरराजहंसः श्वेतातपत्र शशिनोपरि रज्यमानः. Lord Vishnu looked extraordinarily beautiful because the goddess of fortune and a garland was situated on his chest. His face was beautifully decorated with a smiling attitude which can captivate the entire world, especially the devotees. Fans of white hair appeared on both sides of Lord like white swans, and the white canopy overhead looked like the moon. तमुपागतम् अलाक्ष्य सर्वे सुरगणाधयः प्रणेमुः ससोत्थाय ब्रह्मेन्द्र तृक्ष तृक्ष नायकाः. As soon as Lord Vishnu was visible, all the demigods, Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, the Gandharvas, and all present there immediately offered the respectful obeisances by falling down straight before him. तत्तेजसा हतरुचः सन्ना जिह्वा ससादवाः मूर्ध्ना धृताञ्जलिपुता उपतस्तुर In the presence of glaring effulgence of bodily luster of Narayana, everyone else Luster faded away, and everyone stopped speaking. Fearful with awe and veneration, all present touched their hands to their heads and prepared to offer their prayers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Adhokshaja. Apyarvag वृतयो यस्य महित्वा आत्मभो आदयः यथा मतिः गृह्णन्ति स्म कृतानुग्रह विग्रहम्. Although the mental scope of even demigods like Brahma was unable to comprehend the unlimited glories of the Supreme Lord, they were all able to perceive the transcendental form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead by His grace. Only by such grace could they offer the respectful prayers according to their different capacities. दक्षो गृहीतार्हण और दक्षो गृहीतार्हण साधनोत्तमं यज्ञेश्वरं विश्वसृजां परं गुरुं सुनन्ददन्दादि अनुगैर्वृतं मुदा गृणं प्रपेदे प्रयतः कृताञ्जलिः. When Lord Vishnu accepted the oblations offered in the sacrifice, Daksha, the Prajapati, began with great pleasure to offer respectful prayers unto him. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is actually the master of all sacrifices and preceptor of all the Prajapatis, and he is served by such personalities as Nanda and Sunanda. दक्ष उवाच शुद्धस्वदाम्नि उपरताखिल बुद्धि अवस्थं चिन्मात्र एकम् अभयं प्रतिसिद्ध्यमायं तिष्ठं तयव पुरुषस्त्वम् उपेत्य तस्याम् आस्ते भवाम् अपरिशुद्ध इवात्मतन्त्रः. Daksha addressed the Supreme Personality of Godhead, My dear Lord, you are transcendental to all speculative positions. You are completely situated, devoid of all fear, and you are always in the control of material energy. Even though you appear in the material energy, you are situated transcendentally. You are always free from material contamination because you are completely self situated. ऋत्विज उवाच तत्त्वं न ते वयन् अनञ्जन रुद्रशापात् कर्मण्यवग्रह धियो भगवन् विदामः धर्मोपलक्षणम् इदं त्रिविद् अध्वराख्यं ज्ञातं यत् अर्थम् इधि दैवम् अदो व्यवस्थाः. The priest addressed the Lord, saying, O Lord, transcendental to material contamination by the curse offered by Lord Shiva's men, we have become attached to fruitive activities and thus we are now fallen and therefore do not know anything about you. On the contrary, we are now involved in the injunctions of the three departments of Vedic knowledge under the plea of executing rituals in the name of Yajna. We know that you have made arrangements for distributing the respective shares of the demigods. Sadasya uvacha उत्पत्त्य उत्पत्त्यध्वनि असरण पुरुक्लेश दुर्गन्तकोग्रा व्यालान्विष्टे विषय मृग तृष्यात्मगेहोरु भारः द्वन्द्वा खल मृगभये शोकदावेज्ञ सार्तः पादौकस्ते शरण शरणद कदा याति कामोपश्रस्तः. My God. The members of the assembly addressed the Lord, O exclusive shelter for all who are situated in troubled life in this formidable fount of conditional existence. The time element, like a snake, is always looking for an opportunity to strike. This world is full of ditches of so called distress and happiness, and there are many ferocious animals always ready to attack. The fire of lamentation is always blazing, and the mirage of false happiness is always alluring, but one has no shelter from them. Thus, foolish persons live in the cycle of birth and death, always overburdened in discharging their so called duties, and we do not know when they will accept the shelter of your lotus feet. Rudra Uvacha Tava Varada Varangrav As तव वरद वरांग्राव आशीषे Oh my God, sorry. तव वरद वराङ्घ्राहासिषेहाखिलार्ते हि अपि मुनिभिरशक्तिरादरेण यदि रचित धियं मा विद्यलोकपविद्धं जपति न गणये तत्त्वत्परानुग्रहेण. Lord Shiva said, "My dear Lord, my mind and consciousness are always fixed on your lotus feet, which, as the source of all benediction and the fulfillment of all desires, are worshipped by all liberated great sages because your lotus feet are worthy of worship. With my mind fixed on your lotus feet, I am no longer disturbed by persons who blaspheme me, claiming that my activities are not purified. I do not mind their accusations, and I excuse them out of compassion, just as you exhibit compassion toward all living entities." Pragurvacha यन्मायया गहनयापहृतात्मबोधां ब्रह्मादयस्तनुभृतस्तमसि स्वपन्तः नात्मन् श्रितं तव विदन्ति अधूपानि तत्त्वं सोऽयं प्रसीदतो भवान् प्रणतात्मबन्धुः. Sri Bhugu said, "My dear Lord, all living entities beginning from the highest, namely Lord Brahma, down to the ordinary ant, are under the influence of insurmountable spell of illusory energy, and thus they are ignorant of their constitutional position. Everyone believes in the concept of the body, and all are thus submerged in the darkness of illusion. They are actually unable to understand how you live in every living entity as a super soul, nor can they understand your absolute position. But you are the eternal friend and protector of all the surrendered souls. Therefore, please be kind toward us and forgive all our offenses." Hare Krishna. So, we are here. We are reading this wonderful part where Lord Shiva joins the party. Here, before we get into the Dhruva Upakhyana, which is the next chapter, this is the conclusion. And in this, we can see we have come till Brahma. Everyone is, all the demigods offer their praise to Lord Vishnu. Why? Because Lord Vishnu comes. And in fact, if we take from the starting, Lord Shiva smilingly spoke that his punishment be only for correction. So this is very important element when we can see that when all Daksha and understood that, oh, what a mistake we have done. Oh, in fact, yeah, Lord Brahma came along with all others, and then they came and then they were saying, sadhus are compassionate to materialist. So you are a sadhu, so please show your mercy. And this is continuation of that. After all these prayers that were offered by Brahma and the demigods and all who came, then Lord Shiva is saying, in fact, he's telling to Lord Brahma that whatever is done is not to be taken as an offense, or it is not to torture, but the smiling itself means, yeah, Lord Shiva smilingly spoke. In fact, he said, "This punishment is for correction. I do not mind the offenses of the demigods, as they are childish and less intelligent. I have punished them only to correct them." So there are 2 points here. One is that Lord Shiva is not taking offense of what was done. Second thing is, but of course, he didn't leave it there, because he is also protector of dharma. He also wants that everyone can be corrected to that they can advance in their spiritual practices. There are two types of punishments, that which a conqueror imposes upon an enemy. This is one thing. The second one is that which a father imposes on his son. Here, Lord Shiva is not acting inimically, but this punishment is not out of his own self interest or out to make himself more strong, but facilitating his children that they can advance. Lord Shiva fulfills the request of Lord Brahma partially, saying, "Daksha, have a goat's head," since he had the words and intelligence of a goat. Yeah. Uh, Yeah, this verse can help us to understand that yeah, animals also have intelligence, but this intelligence is not to that extent that the goats are thinking what were we in our previous life, or who are we actually, all these things. But the goats also do have intelligence. That's why they all go together whenever, yeah, you may see a flock of goats, or what, a head of goats, I don't know, they go together. That needs intelligence. And then Bhaga sees his portion of sacrifice with Mitra's eyes, because his eyes were contaminated with fault, devoid of spiritual vision. So he said, no, he doesn't need these eyes because his eyes are already faulty. So he will see through the eyes of Mitra. And then Pusha will chew through the teeth of his disciples, or Daksha, or eat chickpeas dough if he is alone. Why? Because he has shown his teeth at the devotees and laughed at them. And the demigods who agreed to give me my share have their limbs restored. Hmm? They did not side with Daksha when Daksha was criticized, so that's why not severe punishment. And then the priests and others work with the arms of Ashwini Kumaras, because they favored Daksha, raising their arms and shouting. Bhrigu has the mustache of a goat, yeah, because he was the chief advisor of Daksha. So due to this, all things are done, and everyone approved. In fact, all the assembled people heard the words of Lord Shiva, the and then approved by saying sadhu sadhu. This is very important. Usually, we also see sometimes some devotees are seeing, as soon as when someone sees a sadhu, this is a sense of respect by calling them sadhu sadhu. I mean, there are so many details of etiquettes, how we can, yeah, we can, when we have this approach of a relationship, one is saying, as soon as he sees his good old friend, who is a very elevated devotee of the Lord, who is advanced, and who we think he's leading a life of a sadhu, sadhu sadhu is what is said here. Also we see everyone went to the sacrificial arena. Then the demigods and the sages headed by Bhrigu invited Shiva and went with him and Brahma, back to the all went to sacrificial arena, and Daksha got a goat's head. After everything was executed as directed by Lord Shiva, Daksha's body was joined to the head of a sacrificial animal, a goat. And then Daksha saw Lord Shiva, and then he understood he did a big thing. Yeah, offense. The mistakes are possible, but here this mistake was done out of one's own envy. And saw Lord Shiva in front of him. Daksha's heart, which was been contaminated, got cleansed. Just the example given is the rainwater is cleared by autumn rains, or the lake is cleared. Then Daksha remembered Sati. Daksha wanted to offer praise to Lord Shiva, but as he remembered the ill-fated death of his daughter, his eyes filled with tears and he could not speak. Pacifying his mind with great endeavor, he came to his senses and began to praise Lord Shiva. And Daksha is, he is saying, by punishing me, you showed your mercy on me. That is the sense of repentance. If one is corrected and if the other person appreciates such correction, one is um, coming to this, what you call, genuine request of forgiveness. Yeah. And he's saying, by punishing me, you showed your mercy on me. Here, Daksha was pretty convinced that he messed up, he made a big offense, and he was restored back to life out of mercy of Lord Shiva. And whatever punishment is done, he understood that it's all needed for my own welfare. Although I am an offender, you and Vishnu never neglect even Brahma Bandhus. Yeah, he was just telling why even you don't take such a serious action against Brahma Bandhus. What to talk about Daksha? I'm just engaged in the yajnas. You always protect the Brahmanas in their pursuit of Vidya, Tapa, Vrata, self realization, like cowherd protects his cows with a stick. Huh? So, stick has a role. In fact, it's not that okay, when the Lord time was there, in fact, Lord himself had the stick to control the animals, or the cows, or herding the calves. And then, not knowing the truth about you, I insulted you with harsh words. And this verse number 15 is saying, Yet you took no notice. Instead, you compassionately saved me from hell by punishing me. That is the importance of Lord Shiva's punishment. What he was doing, he was punishing for the welfare of Daksha. Otherwise, if such correction is not done, whatever offenses he would do, he would continue to do more and more. And out of that, whatever he will incur is that he will go more and more downward into the hell. Why? Because it is said Kamesha Krodesha Rajo Guna Samudbhava, and in fact, this Kama, Krodha, and what was the other? Greed, Moha. These are the three gates to the hell. Huh? So, after saying, he said, "If I cannot satisfy you with my words, please be satisfied with your own mercy." So, be satisfied. Oh, finally, you have excused such a great offender like me. That is such a great thing. Just be satisfied with such a great mercy of you. This is what Daksha is telling. And after that, there is this whole description of Lord's form. Why? Because when the yajna is performed, Lord Hari came and everyone started glorifying the his form. And then we can see that the demigods offered respect. As soon as Lord Vishnu was visible, all the demigods led by Lord Brahma, Indra, Lord Shiva immediately offered respects. And they start saying the ability to pray is by Lord's mercy. Arvag vrtayo yasya mahitva atmabhu adayah yatha mati grinanti sma yatha mati. So even remembering you, your glories, kritanugraha vigraham, it is said that although Lord's unlimited glories are beyond the mental activities of the demigods, they could see his form and offer prayers according to their different capacities only by his mercy. Krita Anugraha. But how can we get that? Is by carefully engaging ourselves in devotional service, by always understanding our position, by always appreciating the Lord presence as the master in our life. Hmm. One can offer prayers or service to the Lord according to one's capacity. This capacity is increased by devotees' service point, spirit. So, one who is more and more closer to the Lord, he may be able to offer in more refined way, because he may know more glories of the Lord. That's why that the more smaranam we make of the Lord, the more kirtanam we can do. And how can we get smaranam? Shravanam. The more we hear about the Lord, the more we can meditate on it, the more we can glorify that. These three things. Uh, Daksha began offering his prayers, demigods offered their prayers, and that's what we'll cover tomorrow. Yeah, what Lord Brahma, Indra, there are so many. As soon as when they saw Lord Vishnu, they took the opportunity because they could. It's not so easy to have the darshan of the Lord, and that's why they all glorified the Lord and seeked his blessings. Hare Krishna. Okay, so we'll continue tomorrow for the remaining part. If there are any questions or anything anyone want to share or have anything to add.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for this, describing the nice part of appearance of Lord. Prabhuji, two questions I had. One was, the Lord Shiva said, Daksha, that he has got the goat-like intelligence. Then why
Mhm.
Lord Vishnu appeared in front of such a goat-like intelligent person after the sacrifice?
Yeah, but he got purified, right? I mean, the yajna continued. Yeah. So what happened is there is first, all the yajna was performed, and after that, Lord Shiva has attached the head of a goat to Daksha. And after that, because he could see Lord Shiva and he could repent, he could understand his offense, he asked for forgiveness. Now, then all of them started doing yajna.
Mhm.
Hmm?
So his goat-like intelligence was no more. Mm,
Yeah, that's what it said. No, it's got cleared.
mm. Okay, Prabhuji. And the second one was that Lord Shiva did not want that Daksha goes to the hellish planet, but we
Mhm.
have heard that the demigods is not the karma yoni, so they don't fall down, they just enjoy their fruitive results in the heavenly planet. That
Hmm.
was I was not able
Yeah,
to.
but it is said that even if one goes to the Brahma Loka, it's not that his position is secure. He will always, yeah. It is the chances are pretty less, but still he can always go up and down from upper to lower, lower to upper.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So there is
It
also
is not
some
that,
karma.
I mean, if you would have asked, is there no karmic effect on them? Yeah, we could see this whole chapter is all about, or these three chapters is telling all about karma influence on them, right? Because
Mm,
they have done this. That's why this has happened in this chapter. It is clear who got the teeth, or no, who didn't get, whose eyes were pulled, and with what he has to see. All these things is karma and karmic reaction.
mhm. Yeah, Guruji, the suffering and
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
and karma.
Yeah, in fact, we can see a lot of incidents where Indra also does, right?
Mm,
And then to clean his offenses, he goes and yeah, I think we came across where Indra creates this. He distributes his sin reactions in four ways. Yeah, to earth, to water, to women. Yeah. So in
mm,
fact, that also shows the effects
mhm. So, Guruji, with the karma, one goes to heavenly planet, but there it is also not that
permanent.
they
Yeah.
can
It
behave
is
as
said. It is said that as soon as his piety is exhausted, he will come down.
okay, Guruji. Yes,
Mhm.
Guruji. Thank you,
Yeah.
Guruji.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay, then thank you very much, and see you tomorrow. We conclude this Daksha Yajna. In case if someone has any questions that they would like to discuss tomorrow, yeah, we can come. We can discuss further. Or if someone would like, I mean, let's not miss the Falastuti. Yeah, we have very nicely heard. Let's join tomorrow. पंचकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यः च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः वृंदराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। ताय गौर प्रेमानंद। हरे कृष्ण।